And so nothing like just Mr. Brown would say, let's get jiggy with it. So welcome and thank you so much for allowing me to share this practice. Yoga Nidra literally means yogic sleep. And of course, it's not like we're just going to snooze here for 8 hours. I did want to give some of the background with it. The first time I practiced Yoga Nidra, I did not get a lot of information, and it left me in sort of a state of, is this normal? Am I going to die? Maybe I'm going to lose the use of my legs. I don't know. So I want to try to answer all of these questions before we get started. And also just go ahead and say, you can move. That was the other instruction we got. Don't move. Whatever happens, don't move. No, you can absolutely move if you need to. And the reason that is recommended that you don't move once we get started is it pulls us out into the outer layer of our body. So Yoga Nidra is a practice that is now receiving a lot of attention study-wise. It was formalized in the 1960s, and I'll be using the script of this dude that wrote the Yoga Nidra book, which is sort of the base for all the Yoga Nidra practices that are being practiced today. Some of them are taking a lot of liberties with it, and I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. It just is. It whatever serves whomever. In this practice, and he goes into great detail about, he is basing it on an ancient practice of going through the 5 layers of our beings that we talk about in our yoga practice, the pancha koshas. The outer layer of our being is our physical self. And that is the one, the densest and the one that's the easiest to relate to. And that's why we often start the practice, the yoga practice there. And the instruction of lying still in the practice is so that as we begin the journey inward through our layers, that we don't have to keep jumping back out and then we go back in and then we jump back out and then we have to travel in. That can get really exhausting, and it can prevent us from going as deep as we might like. But again, there's no wrong way to practice this. It is whatever works for you. These 5 layers, body, energy, mind, subconscious, and unconscious self. And a lot of our actions are born in this murkier mud, if you will, of the unconscious or subconscious self. So we don't realize that that is part of the motivation for our actions. But in the Yoga Nidra, as we travel in, we can begin to change our inner script. And that's where it gets really juicy. And so I chose to offer this because as we come into the holidays, which in and of itself can be tremendously stressful, add to that the trauma that we have all just experienced with not just a pandemic, but the political upheaval and the seemingly increasing amount of senseless violence in our communities. It puts us all on a heightened state of quilliness, because we are walking around pretty darn anxious. This practice, first and foremost, helps us relax. And it consists really just of a guided meditation. So we take out the doer's mind, very much like we do in an asana class, where somebody tells you, do this, do that. And it is one of the comments I get frequently. I like it when somebody just tells me what to do. I don't have to think about it. So, but instead of staying in the outer layer as we do in asana practice, we are going to be traveling in, deeply in. So I put in the initial email some of the things that Yoga Nidra is now being studied for and found to be remarkably beneficial for. And it pretty much centers around the amount of cortisol we have in our body. So did I mention stress and anxiety? So when we lower cortisol, we just feel better. We are more in the parasympathetic nervous system. Stress, up it goes. So when the cortisol is siphoned out, some of the benefits is that we just feel more alert. We are able to focus because what cortisol does, what was that? Did you hear me? No. So it really keeps us on high alert, but we're not very well focused. So we want that easy alert of just sort of able to scan. It also helps with insomnia for the same reason. I don't recommend, but that's my personally preference to practice Yoga Nidra right before you go to bed. But that's how it works for me. I like to practice mine during the day or in the morning, which may sound counterintuitive, but it leaves me feeling really refreshed, really focused, really alert. But other people like it before they go to bed. It helps with, and one of the things that's been studied extensively is hormonal balance. And of course, sort of the same thing, the cortisol. And so when it comes to periods, and while you may be past worrying about the periods, the monthly cycle, these hormonal imbalances are, again, if they are firing really hard, we have maybe some of the not so great benefits of this is a time of headaches, irritability, struggling just with people seemingly not being as nice as they normally are. Of course, it may be our inner calibration that's slightly off. Other things, so you see the list just keeps going. It's been studied for PTSD and chronic pain. And PTSD sometimes is the pain and sometimes it's very separate. And PTSD is often, again, post-traumatic stress syndrome is layered so deep in the subconscious that we actually don't have access to why we trigger. We might not even know we suffer from PTSD. I think a lot of us after COVID, after all that we have experienced as a reason, all have some degree of PTSD, and it directly influence how we relate and interact with other people. List is just continues on. Addiction, whatever that addiction means. It can be chemical, it can also be codependency, it can be shopping, you name it, eating, it can be. But again, these are behaviors that we don't always have access to understanding. Why do I do this? So in short, it facilitates a sense of peace, calm, and clarity. And all you have to do is just show up. I can't make it any easier. But sometimes we can't get out of our own way. I know it. I know it. So we're going to start. I'm just going to give you a little bit of today's menu. We're going to start with a short asana practice, which I do recommend before you just plop down into the Yoga Nidra practice, because it can help get some of these little kinks out of the body that can actually cause irritation as we practice. We talk about energy, and if you feel a lot of anxious, nervous energy, we just need to that little bit discharge before we go. If you're feeling super tired, sleepy, we may just need to just wake you up a little bit before we come into the practice, so that you are in a state of what we call sattva, in that middle balanced state in your body, to facilitate opening the gates going inward. After the practice, we'll discuss how to set up. And that's going to, again, be individual for everybody, what is going to feel comfortable. So we're going to just try it out a little bit. You're going to test it and maybe make some changes. And then after that, and I invite you to begin to plant the seed now for setting an intention for your Yoga Nidra practice. So that's where, as we get deep down into these murky waters, that is where our compass, this is what allows us to change our deep inner workings. And then we'll practice. After the practice, we'll do a little debriefing, question and answer, and let's get jiggy with it. So I invite you to go ahead and just clear off your mat so that you can come onto your back. And the practice that I chose is just it's just a gentle supine practice. I want to again sort of invite into a state of ease, but without a lot of movement. So as you come onto your back, just taking a moment and check in, as we often do in our practices, checking in. What's going on in my body today? So the outer layer of my being. And then inhale, go ahead and start, take the arms up overhead. And exhale, let them float back down again. So make it easy. Inhaling back, exhaling down. And the next time you take the arms overhead, you can pause there. And on an exhalation, we'll visit a little bit with the morning sequence. We'll draw one knee into the chest. Inhale, stretch back out. Moving at a pace that's comfortable. Exhaling, hugging a knee in and stretching out. And this is not, again, yoga Olympics. It's just whatever feels good. Telling your body, I'm here to take care of you, to love on you. Back and forth. And then next time you take the right knee in, just take the left knee in as well and rock from side to side. We'll place the feet on the mat. Knees are bent, and inhale, gently arch the low back, and then exhale, flatten the low back. So inhale, arch, exhale, flatten. And you can leave the arms down. You can add the arms in if you like. Inhale, arch, exhale, flatten. And then after the next flatten, as you inhale, pressing up into bridge pose, just a little bridge. And exhale, lowering down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, flatten. Inhale, lift up into bridge. Exhale, lowering down. And then next time you come down, go ahead and just walk your feet a little bit wider. Take your arms out to a T. And inhale, windshield wiper twist. Knees goes down to one side, nose goes the other direction. Side to side, wringing it out. And then as you come back to center, just go ahead and slide the legs long. And roll over onto your abdomen. And then just go ahead, take the hands down to the shoulders and push back to puppy pose. The toes are tucked up if that feels good. And from puppy, inhale forward to that tall cobra where the knees stay down and the heart lifts. A little bit of psoas lengthening back and forth. Exhale back to cobra. Inhale forward into the cobra. So flexion and extension up the spine and the hips, shoulders. And then if you would like a downward facing dog, this is certainly the opportune time, or draw back to child's pose where we're all going to meet up, wide knee child's pose. So if you chose the dog, maybe 2-3 breaths, and then just bend the knees and come into wide knee child's pose. Pause and breathe. And again, in this inward facing pose, again, maybe pose the question, what does my heart long for? What is my deepest desire? What is my intention for today's practice? Sankalpa, my intention. And then go ahead and take your hands under your shoulders and push up into a comfortable seated posture. How did that feel? No worse for the wear? So let's go ahead and set up. I highly recommend that you cover the mat if you're on the floor. But yes, you can absolutely do it in your bed. So I'll go ahead and cover. If you ask the great Google about seeing what does Yoga Nidra look like media, you're going to get just a yoga mat. And I'm like, ooh, that's no good. That would be very, very hard. And your body is going to probably let you know fairly soon that this is not comfortable. So you may like 2 yoga mats or be on top of a soft carpet. I do vividly again recall my first experience. I really thought my skull was going to split open, but I've been told not to move, so I wasn't going to move, but I wasn't sure I was going to live to talk about it. So soft, and then something for the head. So maybe a yoga blanket or a pillow. So I got a pillow in here too, because I again vividly remember the skull splitting that I felt. And then you might also like the picture that I found, Salamba Shavasana, supported Shavasana, is something under the knees, and you may like a yoga bolster. And of course, we also have what I call the poor man's yoga bolster, a couple of blankets. And what I like if I use a bolster is I like my bolster slanted. So I roll the blanket up, and then you can either support the calves or you can support the thighs. So you're creating an apex where the knees are resting. I also like a little roll for my ankles so that my heels are going to have a little bit of softness. When we come onto the floor or in the bed, our body temperature will begin to drop. So I will also invite a blanket for covering and socks. I also, because I'm on a hardwood floor in my studio, I take a blanket and I put it across so that my hands are not resting on the hard floor. You may like an eye pillow. So very, very last, let's just take this little setup for a test drive. So try it out. Does it feel comfortable as you begin to settle in? Because again, it will be easier to transition in through these layers if there's no discomfort. It's like, okay, that needs to come up a little bit higher. So take a few breaths as you settle in. No need to hurry. And have your arms slightly out from the body so that you're not touching yourself. The feet slightly separated. So I am looking about. Want to make sure that everybody's about settled in. And again, take one more moment and think of your intention, sankalpa. And when you state it, so short and direct is good, and state it in the present tense. So not I want to, because your subconscious mind doesn't understand that language, because want to will always be in the future, and we are never going to line up with it. And we are ready to begin. So this is the second Yoga Nidra practice as created by Swami Satchidananda Saraswati. And I'll be reading directly from his notes. Lie down in Shavasana, the dead man's pose, and make yourself as comfortable as possible, keeping your feet apart, and let them flop a little sideways, arms slightly away from the body, with the palms of your hands facing upwards. And go ahead and make any adjustments to your blanket, clothes, or position so that you can practice Yoga Nidra without moving and with no physical discomfort. Please close your eyes and keep them closed. The practice of Yoga Nidra is the act of hearing and the act of feeling. These are the only important factors. In Yoga Nidra, you function on the level of awareness, in addition to the level of listening. In dreams, you have no control. In Yoga Nidra, you are the creator of the dream. Now say to yourself, silently, I will not sleep. I shall only listen to the voice. Repeat, I will not sleep. Now take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, feel calmness spreading throughout your body. And as you breathe out, say to yourself, mentally, relax, relax. Become aware of sounds in the distance. Become aware of the most distant sounds that you can hear. Let your sense of hearing operate like a radar beam, searching out distant sounds and follow them for a few seconds. Move your attention from sound to sound. But without attempting to identify the source. And gradually bring your attention to closer sounds. Sounds outside this building. Sounds inside the building. And begin to develop your awareness of the room that you are in. Without opening your eyes, visualize the four walls, the ceiling, the floor, and your body lying on the floor. See your body lying comfortably. Become aware of the existence of your body lying comfortably. Total awareness of your body lying in perfect stillness. Sense all the physical meeting points between your body and your bed or the floor. Feel these physical meeting points. And become aware of the natural breath. Become aware of your deep, natural, spontaneous breath. Do not concentrate, as this might interfere with the natural breathing. Keep listening to me and know that you are breathing. You are now ready for the practice of Yoga Nidra. Say mentally to yourself, I am going to practice Yoga Nidra. I will not sleep. I am going to practice Yoga Nidra. This is the time now to state your intention, your sankalpa. State your intention clearly with feeling and awareness 3 times. And we now begin the rotation of consciousness. We'll rotate consciousness through the different centers of the body. We'll do it as quickly as possible, letting the awareness jump from point to point. Repeat mentally the name of each part after me and become aware of that part. We begin at the right hand. Right hand, thumb. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. Fifth finger. Palm of the hand. Back of the hand. Wrist. Lower arm. Elbow. Upper arm. Shoulder. Armpit. Waist. Hip. Right knee. Calf muscle. Calf muscle. Ankle. Heel. Sole. Top of the right foot. Right big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Fifth toe. Left hand thumb. Second finger. Third finger. Fourth finger. Fifth finger. Palm of the hand. Back of the hand. Wrist. Lower arm. elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, left thigh, knee, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Moving to the right shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, right buttock, left buttock, the spine, the whole of the back together, the whole of the back together. Moving to the top of the head, forehead, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, the eyebrow center, right eyelid, left eyelid, right eye, left eye, right ear, left ear, right cheek, left cheek, nose, tip of the nose, right nostril, left nostril, upper lip, lower lip, chin, jaw, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right chest, left chest, middle of the chest, navel, abdomen, lower abdomen, whole of the right leg, whole of the left leg, both legs together, whole of the right arm, whole of the left arm, both arms together, whole of the back, whole of the front, whole of the head, together, legs, arms, back, front, head, together, the whole of the body together, the whole of the body together, the whole of the body together. Continue to sense the whole body. Become aware of the space occupied by the body. Become aware of the body And this space that is occupied by your body, and space. Body, space. Become aware of your whole body and the floor, the whole body in relation to the floor. At the same time, become aware of the meeting points of the body and the floor. Become aware of the meeting points of the body and the floor. Feel these subtle physical points between your body and the support. Feel the meeting points between the back of your head and the floor, the back of the hands and the floor, the buttocks and the floor, the calves and the floor, the heels and the floor. Awareness of all the meeting points between the body and the floor. The sensation of all points simultaneously and evenly. Simultaneously and evenly. Go on feeling these points clearly and distinctly. Do not sleep. Do not sleep. Switch your attention to the eyelids. Feel the narrow line of meeting between the upper and lower eyelids. Feel the sharp points where they meet. Intensify your awareness between the eyelids. And also between the lips. Center your attention on the line between the lips, the space between the lips. From the lips, we now go to the breath. Draw your attention to the natural in-breath and out-breath. Feel the breath moving along the passage between the navel and the throat. On inhalation, it rises from the navel to the throat. On exhalation, it descends from the throat to the navel. On inhalation, it rises from the navel to the throat. On exhalation, it descends from the throat to the navel. Be completely aware of your breath. Navel to throat, throat to navel. Do not try to force the breath, just awareness. Do not try to force your breath, just be aware. Maintain your awareness. And at the same time, begin counting your breaths backwards as follows. I am breathing in, 54. I am breathing out, 54. I am breathing in, 53. I am breathing out, 53. I am breathing in, 52. I am breathing out, 52. And so on. Count to yourself mentally as you follow the rise and fall of your breath from navel to throat and back again. Total awareness of breathing and counting. The breathing is slow and relaxed. Continue counting. Total awareness of breathing and counting. The breath is slow and relaxed. Continue counting. Letting go of your counting. And awaken the feeling of heaviness in your body. The feeling of heaviness. Become aware of heaviness in every single part of your body. You're feeling so heavy that you are sinking into the floor. Sinking into the floor. Awareness of heaviness. Awareness of sinking. Awaken now the feeling of lightness. Awaken the feeling of lightness. A sensation of lightness and weightlessness in all parts of the body. A sensation of lightness and weightlessness in all parts of your body. Your body feels so light that it seems to be floating away from the floor. Floating away from the support. Be aware of light. And now the experience of cold. Awaken the experience of bitter cold in your body. Imagine you are walking on a cold floor in winter. Your feet feel cold. You feel cold all over. Awareness of coldness. Awareness of coldness. And now awaken the sensation of heat in your body. Awaken the experience of heat. Your whole body is hot. The whole body is hot. You feel hot all over. Recollect the feeling of heat in summer, when you are out in the sun with no shade, feeling heat all over the body, heat all around the body. Heat all over the body. Heat all around the body. Awareness of heat. An experience of pain. Concentrate and try to remember the experience of pain. Any pain you have experienced in your life, mental or physical. Recollect that feeling. Recollect the feeling of pain. Now, recollect the feeling of pleasure, any kind of pleasure, physical or mental. Recollect this feeling, relive it, make it vivid. Reliving moments of pleasure in as much detail. Feel it throughout. Awaken the feeling of pleasure. Check that you are awake. Are you drowsy? Are you sleepy? Say to yourself, I am awake. I am awake. Withdraw your mind and now concentrate on the space in front of your closed eyes. Imagine before you a transparent screen through which you can see infinite space, a space that extends as far as the eye can see. Imagine a transparent screen through which you can see infinite space, a space that extends as far as the eyes can see. Concentrate on this dark space and become aware of any phenomena that manifests within it. Whatever you see is the manifesting state of your mind. Continue your awareness of this space, but do not become involved. Practice detached awareness only. Detached awareness. Now, see yourself in a park in the early morning. The sun has not risen, and the park is completely deserted except for you. It is a beautiful park, calm and peaceful. See yourself walking across the springy grass, listening to the birds whistle and call as they welcome the new day. There are gardens of flowers, roses, yellow, pink, red, and purple. Smell their fragrance. And see the dewdrops on their petals. See the dewdrops on their petals. Nearby the rose garden is a fish pond. See the goldfish swim in and out amongst the water lilies. See their graceful movements. You're walking between the trees, beautiful trees. There are bare trees. There are trees with leaves, wide spreading trees, and tall and stately trees. There's a clearing between the trees. And in the clearing is a small temple with an aura of light around it. You walk to the door. It is cool and dim inside. And inside on the walls, you see pictures of great saints. You sit down on the floor and you close your eyes and become still. You feel a sense of deep peace and harmony enveloping you as the sounds outside fade into the distance. Continue your awareness of meditation inside the temple. Allowing the peace and harmony to completely pervade you. Peace and harmony. Ease. Deep ease. And now we begin to return the awareness to our inner space. Bring your awareness to the dark space you see in front of your closed eyes, the Chirakasha. You can also visualize the space in front of your forehead. And you can explore this by shifting your gaze slightly upwards. Do not strain. Do not strain. Watch the darkness that you see before you very carefully, with detachment. Do not become involved. Let your mind rest in this warm and friendly darkness. Allow your mind to rest into the warm and friendly darkness. And allow any phenomena, colors, or patterns to just be. Let the thoughts come and go. Continue watching the dark space, continuing with a detached awareness. Now, remember your intention, your sankalpa. Repeat it again, the same one you made at the beginning of the practice, same words, and with the same attitude. Repeat it 3 times clearly with feeling and emphasis. Repeat it 3 times clearly with feeling and emphasis. And now become aware of your breathing. Become aware of your natural breathing. Awareness of breathing and awareness of relaxation. Awareness of breathing and awareness of relaxation. Become aware of your physical existence. Your arms, legs, body, relaxed, stretched out. Be aware of meeting points between your body and the floor. And then begin to develop awareness of the room, the walls, the ceiling, noises in the room, and noises outside. Take your mind outside. Let it become completely external. Keeping your eyes closed. And then gently begin to move. Move your body and stretch. Move slowly. Don't hurry. Don't hurry. When you feel awake, wide awake, begin to sit up, opening your eyes. Don't rush. Don't rush. And with that, the practice is completed.